welcome back to another session with Atomica Masterclass Premiere, in which guided surgery made easy and simple. I am Dr. Omar Yasser, the product specialist at Atomica AI, and today we're back with another simple case, continuing this series run of simple cases, demonstrating the utilization of Atomica software suite in planning and designing surgical guides powered by AI. So let's start off by sharing my screen. Okay, so this is the very first page you're gonna land on once you start the Atomica Input Planner software. So let me go ahead and start signing in. Before I sign in, let me tell you how to gain access to our software after we download it. To be able to do that, you can sign up using your personal email, or you can connect with Google immediately using your Gmail account. So let's go ahead and sign in. Okay. Perfect. So new case and open. Of course, as we're starting a new case, we need to select a new case. And as you may know, and always mention, that our software supports single .com files and multiple .com files. As you can see here, this is an example of a multiple .com file. And for you to be able to open a format with the format type called files, which is a DCM file as well, but cannot be read under the DCM file format type. So to be able to do that, you need to select all files, because there's sometimes the DCM file is under the format which is called file. Okay, so let me start by selecting any DCM file, and it will render the scan for me. Perfect. So as you can see here, this is the case and the scan that we have right here. So on the right hand side, you can see the patient information along with the scanner used to take that scan. And on the left hand side, you can start editing the patient name, of course. And the very first step that we need to do is to select a project by selecting a file path, for example. So let me name that demo case 1. And it's saved under our format, which we called it Atom. You save that, and we tap on adjust the icon. So there's a question might arise up, why do we create a file? So we create a file initially, so everything else that will be planned on that case will be saved on that file. Okay, so when we tap on adjust icon, it will save the file and will take you to the next step where we start adjusting the DICOM. So right here, you can start adjusting the DICOM in case the scan was not perfectly oriented or not in the centralized position. So you can utilize this different aspects right here to be able to visualize the scan in the correct orientation. So right here, this is for the angulation left or right. Here is for up and down, and here is for the rotation of the scan itself. And you can also crop out any unwanted scan if you want. So let me reset the adjustments, as I guess it's perfectly centralized. And let me start the plan right here. Let's go ahead and start planning. So let me check. First of all, what we want to restore is a lower right molar, first molar, which is tooth number 30. So we're going to go ahead on the left hand side to select from the lower arch to tooth number 30, as we're indicating that we're planning on that position or that tooth. So as you can see, once I selected the tooth on the lower arch, the mandibular curve turns on immediately. And if I selected the same thing on the upper arch, the maxillary curve turns on. Okay, so we're only going to work on the mandibular arch. So let's go ahead and tap on mandibular curve. So once we tap on the mandibular curve, you'll see that the panoramic curve is being generated automatically, of course, using the power of AI. So you can also do manual adjustments if you want to. For example, I can remove a dot like that using the right click on my mouse, or I can add a dot by tapping on the left click on the mouse right here. So if I wanted to look for a better position, I can go right here. And if you wanted to adjust the position of the panoramic curve itself, all in all, you can just grab the center point right here and just edit it, adjust it. Okay, perfect. So as long as we're working on the mandibular arch, of course, we need to trace the nerves. So the side of interest is on the right hand side. So we're going to go ahead and trace the nerve, the inferior alveolar nerve on the right. So I'd like to first of all start tracing using the panoramic view. So this is that mental foramen right here. I place the dot. Let me bring that here to make it easier for you to see that. We can zoom in using control and the scroller in the mouse. And after that, okay, that's good. And let's check that using the cross-sectional view. So let me bring it from the beginning, from the mental foramen, and trace it and take a look at it. So this is the mental foramen right here, and I guess if we added a point right here, it'll be more accurate. So I guess it's perfectly traced. So as you can see, I'm tracing the nerves manually, but later on we'll be releasing a new version that will be able to trace the nerves also using the power of AI, which will be traced automatically. Okay, so I guess I'm satisfied with the tracing right here. And if you wanted to check the nerves from the 3D view, you can hide the skull, and there's the nerve right here. We can finish that. We can go ahead and move to the next step, where we start importing our model. So we're working on the lower arch, so we're looking for the lower model right here. So on a side note, our software also supports all kind of 3D formats, which is the STL, OBJ, and PLY right here. So I'm loading right here the lower model, shows me a quick preview. So lower model is the only option available here, as I'm only also working on the lower arch. So when I tap a load model, it will immediately perform automatic model matching, also using the power of AI, which eases the process, which eases the matching process while you plan the case. So this is not the only option. If in case it's not accurately matched with the scan, you can go ahead and use the rematch right here if you wanted to manually or using the conventional way to match your model to the scan. And there is another good way, which I like it, which is called optimized fitting. It will help you or assist you to match the model with the scan, also using the power of AI. So as you can see, I selected several times, as you can use it several times until you're satisfied with the position of your the matching. So let's check the 2D view and how it has been matched. So I guess the matching is so good, perfectly or accurately matched. Let me check another view right here, which is the axial view. And I think it's also perfectly matched. Let's check that as well. I like how the automation is actually very accurate. So in case you wanted to check the occlusal relationship with the upper model, so we can import our maxillary model and select antagonist to be relatively matched to the lower model if you wanted to check the occlusal relationship. Let's hide this skull right here, and this is how it's relatively matched to the lower model. Amazing. So let's go to the next step. Before we start adding our implants, let's start adding our virtual tooth, a virtual crown, to our missing space. So let's hide the maxillary right here, and let's start selecting which tooth that we want to place as a virtual crown. So right here it's tooth number 30. As you can see, once I select it, it will automatically try to place the virtual tooth in place. Let's check that out. Actually assisted to place it in the place that we're concerned with. So let's do our own adjustments to make sure it's in the right position. A little bit high right here. We can do that like that, or it can bring a little bit bring it a little bit down like that. So it's only fine adjustments. So the AI did a great job right here. So let me go ahead and start adding our implant. So let's go ahead and let's choose Dentsply for that case. For example, using a prime taper EV as an example. As I'm restoring a molar, I'll be looking for 4 millimeter in diameter or more. So let's go ahead with 4.29 right here. And I'd like personally to place it using the panoramic view right here. And I'll start using another view, which is called centric, and the tangential view right here. The centric view helps me to go around the implant, as you can see right here. So I guess we'll put a little bit higher right there, and we'll give it a little bit of angulation to follow the bone anatomy, also following the anatomy of the adjacent tooth. I think this space would be able to take bigger implant. So let's replace that using that button right here, 3 dots. I use the replace right here, and I'll select 4.8 will do for me. As you can see, I think I can even go for wider. Well, let's just do 4.8 as an example for that case. Amazing. Let's start adding our abutment and name that tooth number 30. And let's go ahead to add our sleeve. Let me hide the skull. Let me hide the maxillary anatomy right here. As you can see, this is in the 3D, how it's appearing, the 3D view right here, and the implant is emerging from the middle of the crown. Amazing. So let's start adding the sleeve. I'll go with Astra EV for Dentsply. Depth control, I'll apply the sleeve. And I'll try changing the offset here until it shows IPC, which means that it will be supported, that implant placement control is going to be supported. As you can see, once I change the offset, it shows IPC. That means depth control is activated for that case. As you can see, let me hide the crown as well to make sure the sleeve is cleared from soft tissue and bone, not collision with the adjacent tooth. So that's amazing. So let's save our case right here, a plan. And last but not least, we can generate a report that will show a summary of our case. This is, of course, the X-ray view or the panoramic view of the case, different cross-section of the case right here, all the plant products, implant, the kind of implant components, the dimensions of the implant being used, also the sleeves and the abutment with the collar heights and all the information right here. Last but not least is the drilling protocol that you might follow to be able to do the right osteotomy for your own case. So you can export that into a PDF file for you if you wanted to share it with a lab or you wanted to share it with a colleague, for example. So let's name that a report. That's it. You save it, and there you go. So once we're done with planning our case, let's go ahead and start designing our surgical guide. So you can use the shortcut icon right here that will help you launch the Atomica design software immediately. So I only selected use the shortcut down there, and it will automatically load the case that I was already planning on the Implant Planner. And this is our case right here. So let me hide the maxillary. You can see this is our plane. And for you to be able to design a surgical guide, I can say that anyone using our software will be able to design a surgical guide, because it's very easy and intuitive using our software. So very simply, by selecting the model right here, you'll see that the generate guide is available to select. So once I select the generate guide button, you can see that it gives me a brush in hand for me to start highlighting where I want my surgical guide to be seated. Amazingly, right here, I can change the size of the brush using my scroller on the mouse right here. Okay, I'll start to refine that a little bit by tapping on Control and selecting. Tapping on this left click on your mouse, you can start deleting or erasing highlighted areas. You can see that right here. Okay, great. Down here is the parameters, which is preset in a default setting. You might not want to change it depending on the 3D printer you're using. And of course the guide type, whether it's teeth or bone or soft tissue guide from here. Or the undercut direction, you can use the automatic feature, in which it will detect the undercut and will block it out using the power of AI to automatically do that for you. Or you can do it manually, and by choosing the right perspective in which you want the undercut to be filled. Okay, so I'm doing a little bit of minor adjustments right here, and I'll place the undercut to be automatically because it's accurate. So I'll tap on generate, and two items will be generated out. Is first of all is the a model with the blocked out undercuts, and along with it is a guide, of course. So right here is the results, and this is our surgical guide right here. Pretty simple, very few simple steps. And there's other things that will assist you if you wanted to personalize the guide a little bit more. There's the stamping option right here. If you wanted to, for example, use the name of your clinic or the name of your lab as an example. So I'm using the name of my company, of course. So by unticking that, it's either you can, by unticking that, it will be embossed out. If you tick that, it will be engraved in the surgical guide. I prefer to use that as embossed out. But first of all, I need to select where I want my label to be labeled. So it's right here. So I'll tap on label. As you can see here, the Atomica is embossed out of the surgical guide right here. And once done, if you wanted to export the surgical guide into an STL file, pretty simple. It's pretty simple. By right click on the models right here, you'll see the guide teeth. Right click and you select export. You can see guide teeth right here as a name, so we'll name that as demo guide. And as you can see, you can save it under any type of 3D formats, either STL, PLY, or OBJ. Then we can save that, and it will start exporting the STL file. And that's it. there you go. We're done with planning with very, very few simple steps, very intuitive, very easy. Thank you very much for watching. And if there's any kind of questions, please reach out through our email, info@atomica.ai, or for any kind of technical support, you can go ahead and email us through support@atomica.ai. Thank you for watching. Please enjoy the rest of your day.